How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Falcon's Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today, and welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time for this new episode for this series is going to be my review on the 2023 animated adventure comedy film, and this is the second animated film to be released by Illumination Entertainment after the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and that is, of course, Migration. This was directed by Benjamin Renner, and this tells a story where we follow a family of mallard ducks, which consists of a mother named Pam, voiced by Elizabeth Banks, and she has two children named Dax and Gwen, and they have an uncle named Uncle Dan, voiced by Danny DeVito, and they convince their overprotective father named Mac, voiced by Kumail Nanjiani, to go on a vacation of a lifetime, which they attempt to migrate from New England through New York City to Jamaica. So that's pretty much the story of Migration. As I said before, this was the second Illumination Entertainment film to be released in 2023 after the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which I had a really great time with that movie. I had a lot of fun with that, and it is definitely one of my favorites from Illumination Entertainment, alongside some of their few handful of films I tend to enjoy the most of when it comes to their movies. Although there are a few other handful of their films that I have seen before that I think are either just decent to like mediocre and stuff like that, but once I did see the trailers for this movie, I was actually really looking forward to this one, since I tend to enjoy Illumination's movies quite a bit, and I was really surprised with the amount of voice cast in this film. You've got a talented voice cast in which you've got Elizabeth Banks, Kumail Nanjiani, Danny DeVito, Awkwafina, and Keegan-Michael Key, and so on. And this film came out around Christmas in the US, but we didn't get this until February of this year, which this film came out on the same day as Argyle Day, which I went to see that film first. But I did see this film the very next day after I saw Argyle, and I did see this at my job for Frayners, and I saw this in a really packed screen with a fair amount of adults and children, the screen that I was in for this movie. And after watching this whole movie here, I thought this movie was overall not too bad here. This movie was overall pretty enjoyable here, but I wouldn't necessarily say this is my most favorite when it comes to Illumination's movies, but this was still overall a good, solid animated film that they have created here for their film library here. For the overall storytelling for this movie, I found it to be pretty simple and yet pretty basic here, where we follow this family of mallard ducks who are attempting to migrate from their home from New England to Jamaica, but they end up finding themselves getting lost and winded up to New York City, and they find themselves in like awkward and yet perilous situations along the way. And while the film does manage to have some heart and charm for a few of the moments in the film, which I thought those moments worked out pretty well in the right place at the right time. And as for its humor, there were a few of the jokes in the film that I thought were pretty enjoyable for the most part, but there were a few of them that didn't really land me under my belt as I was watching this film. And the film is super well paced. Like, the film is an hour and 23 minutes long, and the film manages to get straight to the point once the film begins already. And as for its animation, it is really nice to look at from the character models and designs that they do have. And every little detail in them I thought was very well animated, like the feathers on these birds, which I thought all that was very well animated, like for the mallard ducks and other birds that we do see in the film. And even the flying scenes as well, I thought were very well animated. Like, there's a good, gorgeous scene where we do see this family flying in the sky. And there's even one during the action scene, which I thought that was really, really well animated when it came to that. And the characters themselves in the film, I thought were pretty likable here, and yet they do have pretty good personalities to them. I thought were pretty simple from when we are introduced to them. Like, you've got like Elizabeth Banks' character named Pam, who's like an adventurous duck, and you've got Kumail Nanjiani as Mac, who's like an overprotective father, and you've got like the two children, Dax and Gwen, in which Dax is like a reckless duck, and you've got Gwen, who's like a lovable, cute duck. And you've got like the uncle in the film named Uncle Dan, voiced by Danny DeVito, who's like a lovable goofball. And you've got other birds in the film, like you've got this parrot named Delroy, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, who's like a homesick parrot, and he just wants to get home because we see him that he's locked in his cage, and he's just desperate to go back home where he came from. And you've got this pigeon named Chumps, who's voiced by Awkwafina, who's like a very sensitive pigeon that you don't really want to mess with because she is very aggressive, but she's also pretty funny as well. But all in all, Migration was overall an enjoyable flick from Illumination Entertainment. And if you're overall a huge fan of this animation studio, or you're a fan of like any of the cast or movies that have something to do with like ducks or anything, or birds, this will definitely be a really good treat for the children here. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Migration. I'm going to give Migration 3.5 out of 5. As I said before, this movie was overall a solid flick by Illumination Entertainment here, and despite having a few flaws along the way here, I still managed to find myself having an enjoyable adventure along the way here as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on Migration, and let me know what you think of this movie if you have seen this already, or if you just recently check this out. Did you have fun with this, or was this not really a popcorn treat? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.